Hello. Um, Hi everyone, back again with another reaction video. And this one is for Bugonia. Now, I'm actually really excited to watch this film with you guys because I have already seen this a couple times actually. I've got it on Blu-ray as well. Um, yeah, I actually really love this film. But I wanted to share with you the experience and, my thoughts on it in real time as it's playing because I really love this film. Like, it's great. Like, it was one of my favorite films, I think, of last year. I think it's up there. Hang on, let me double check that. But it's definitely up there. It's definitely top five. But yeah, like I really resonated with this film. The ending really stuck with me. I loved the. I'll go into more detail as we watch it. But I love the back and forth the film has, like the sense of, is she an alien? Is she not an alien? And you don't know. And I love how gripping that is. I think this is the first Yorgos Lanthimos film that's very much like that, where you kind of just don't know what the fuck's going on. It's probably the most M Night Shyamalan kind of uh, Yorgos Lanthimos film, like a movie with like a twist, or it's not even just a twist. It's like it keeps twisting your arm and fucking giving you Chinese burns. But it's so good. I love it for that. And but yeah, the very ending, it really hit me. It kind of, I'll go into more detail with it at the end as well, but it kind of resonated with me on a certain level as well, with like just humanity and stuff like that, and just certain ways that we are, and and not even in just like a moralistic way, just in kind of, if you zoom out and look at it, you could see kind of like certain you know dysfunctions and kind of what's a word for it, like you can kind of see those dysfunctions and how we kind of harm each other. And the way the ending just kind of like, I won't go into too much detail, but I just love how I was like, oh shit. And it wasn't just like it really resonated with me, it kind of challenged me at the same time as well. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, of course, I was like, ooh, yeah. I was actually kind of quite shocked how much I agreed with it. Yeah, in a way. But I also loved how challenging it was. It really hit a really nice sweet spot for me where it stuck with me for like the rest of that night. Like, I watched it in like early evening, and the rest of that night I was just kind of like, fuck. It's so good. The second time I watched it, it didn't have this exact same impact. But man, that first viewing was like, I wish I could have shared that with you the first time, but I saw the first viewing in theaters, which would have been a bit awkward to react to it in the theater, to do a video. But yeah, like, and I didn't want to, wait for it to come out. I wanted to see it. I love Yorgos Lanthimos. He is one of my favorite directors out at the moment. The most unique director that's quite mainstream now, which is really cool. I love that. Like, there's a lot of like, Christopher Nolan and Spielberg and uh, Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers. See, there is actually quite a few directors, even Ari Aster, but like he isn't so. I feel like Yorgos Lanthimos is more known than Ari Aster. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know, but for me, it does feel like he's more mainstream than I thought he would be. Like watching The Lobster, in a lot of his films, you'd think, oh, he's just like some experimental filmmaker, kind of like Gasping Away. Like, not many people know him as much as I would say Yorgos Lanthimos, that's for sure. And it's just like, I feel like a lot of people do know him, and people actually go to see his movies in a sense. I do remember, like, when I went and saw this, it was a pretty busy theater from what I can recall. And I remember seeing Poor Things, and it was like a pretty full theater. I was like, what the fuck? And it really made me happy to see, oh my god, people are seeing these more kind of unique films, that are quite quirky, but people resonate with it, and I really love that. It shows that people do kind of like a bit more weird and challenging films, not just your Hollywood blockbuster Marvel films, which they have their value from time to time. But man, it's really cool to see movies like this go well. I don't know on box office success how great this movie went, but Anyway, I'm not going to go into a big research fucking thing. I'm just going to go into... I've went down a whole rabbit hole right now. All right. Let me just see where Bugonia ranks for me for last year, and then we'll dive into it, and I'll tell you how much I love this film. And yep, it's my favorite movie from last year. So I might as well just get my top 10 out there so you just have an idea. All right, so Bugonia is number 1. That's my favorite film of last year. Weapons is number 2. One Battle After Another is number 3. Superman is number 4. Number 5 is 28 Years Later. Number 6 is Wake Up Dead Man. Number 7 is Train Dreams. Number 8 is Predator Badlands. Number 9 is Together. Fucking weird movie. Oh my god. And then number 10 is How to Train Your Dragon, the remake. I actually really... The thing is about that movie is I basically liked it pretty much as the animated film. But it was weird though, because it was kind of like, well, you know, it was a bit weird, some aspects of it. And, you know, I do wonder what I'd think of it on a rewatch. But I won't lie, I did enjoy it in the theater when I watched it. So it's there. I know some people weren't so huge on that one. My number 11, which I wouldn't be surprised will make my top 10 at some point. This is a really good honorable mention. Actually, I'll mention No Other Choices there, not too far off either as an honorable mention. Marty Supreme. And then, but this one, I'm surprised it didn't make my top 10. I reckon it will on rewatch. And maybe if I rewatch How to Train Your Dragon and maybe reevaluate. But Nuremberg, oh man, that movie, like, yeah, that was great. I really enjoyed that film. Maybe I'll do a video on that one at some point. But anyway, oh my god, I've went down a whole rabbit hole. I might have to trim this down. But anyway, let's get into Bugonia. Fuck me, it's like 10 minutes in. Anyway, let's get into this film because I'm looking forward to like sharing this experience with you guys. I think I've watched this. This will be, I think, my 3rd or 4th time watching it. So yeah, let's get into this, shall we? Alright. I think this is my first Yorgos Lanthimos film that I've done a reaction video for. So stay tuned for more. I definitely will love to re-explore his films with you. Killing of a Sacred Deer would be a really interesting one, especially on a film making level.
Very fragile. Very complicated. He deposits it in another flower's stigma. It's like sex, but cleaner. Nobody gets hurt.
It's interesting. The way the lighting looked in that shot was interesting. I love those shots too. The way Yorgos Lanthimos does the crossfade. It's something that a lot of films don't utilize that as much nowadays, and I love it, especially in The Favourite was really cool. I love the score in this film too. I'll probably say it numerous times in the video, but man, it really packs an interesting punch.
Of our food is pollinated this way.
A third. Yeah, it's nuts.
And they're dying. Talked about, cuz, remember? CCD, it's like a pandemic.
I don't know how true this is. I haven't researched any of this at all. I've heard this before somewhat, so comments below.
Corporate overlords bioengineered CCD to manipulate food supplies.
Good old tracking shots.
And in the stars until I found it.
It's good. This ominous music's so good. It's just some person waking up.
Caging us. Poison.
It's kind of funny. Like, the music's kind of playing his perspective of her. Like, this, you know, change the soundtrack. Literally almost just change the soundtrack of this scene. I mean, the lighting is a little bit ominous looking, but literally just change the soundtrack of this scene and take away the narration. You just think it's some person waking up. But his perspective over the top of it, it's quite funny.
Not steering the ship, Don. Oh, good job. So we have to prepare our bodies.
Look at his face.
Come on, come on, come on.
That's something I forgot to mention too. This is a great cast. Like Emma Stone, she's great, of course. But Jesse Plemons, he's really left a mark for me nowadays. And this other guy too. I've never seen him in anything, but he's great too.
Hey, I think I look funny too.
This feels like everyone watching a Yorgos Lanthimos film. He's like the commentating that.
It'll weevil into your brain box every chance it gets, so we have to fortify that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try.
You hear that, though? In your voice, how they fucked your confidence?
I love that, like that interpretation he has from that, because like that could be from numerous things why he, feels a bit hesitant to say it and saying like, I'll try it in that way. But because of his perspective and the way he sees the world, he immediately projects, this is why you're, feeling that way. I love how this film plays perspective in some ways. Like, it's not always in this dude's, Jesse Plemons' character's perspective, but just showing you, it's kind of give you a bit of an external view on it, but it is kind of really showing you the mechanisms, and it goes deeper into why he believes or has these ideas. I love how the complexity of that, and yeah, it's I love that. It's so good. I was also going to say, like, even the bees, it's interesting that the bees are like a focus. It's almost like the way the bees have been treated is the way it seems like very reflected on how humanity has been treated from his point of view and by these, Andromedons.
What about these people?
Well, they're fine, but hollow. The rest of us, harmless, hopeless,
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
with no way home again.
That's funny. She's listening to that same song that she listens to on the way back, and she's singing to it.
Hey, good morning. Have a good day.
It does give you a different perspective knowing that she actually is an alien. Spoilers, by the way, if you haven't watched this, but why the hell would you be watching? And if not, go watch it. What are you doing?
So until the day comes,
Dinner.
distractions, no gaming, no vape, no whacking it.
He's like, no.
You promise, Tom?
He's really good. I know a few people have questioned whether or not he actually has like some type of disability or if he is acting this. Either or, he did a great job. Ah, my light.
I don't think I can do this.
Hey, come here. Yeah.
I do get slight manipulation vibes from him too. How intentional, I don't know, but I do feel like Jesse Plemons is definitely in ways manipulating him so he does certain things that he wants him to do. Yeah, I don't know. It definitely feels like that, no? I'll mention it as it goes on too, just certain things, but even just this, like, I mean, it's nice that he's, giving him a hug and stuff, but I feel like it's also so he stays and so he doesn't just quit, I feel like there's a certain motive behind why he's comforting him right now and has been like, hey, you can do it, man. But the real question is, does he really want to do it? And he never actually asks him that. Jesse Plemons' character never says, hey, do you want to actually do this? I don't think he does. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just missed a line. And maybe I'll correct that on this viewing. But I'm quite certain he never asks him, hey, do you actually want to be part of this? I think he kind of almost makes decisions for him, in a sense. And he kind of just follows along.
You're my best friend in the whole world. And I'm doing this to save you most of all. I won't let anyone hurt you, okay?
And even that, I don't know how genuine that is. Like, on some level it does seem genuine, but it might also just be me projecting his other characters in other films, because he's usually quite an off-putting character. He plays some funny characters in movies. He does a great job, though. I think that's why he gets picked for them. But I don't think, as I said, I don't think he's manipulating him in a malicious way. I think he probably, needs his help, but he also doesn't want to be alone. He probably does want a friend and feel like validated in some way by another person. So yeah, I don't, as I said, I don't think it's a malicious manipulation, but it's still It does kind of feel like that for sure.
Progesterone acetate.
Oh, here we go.
It's your chemical castration.
Mm.
Okay?
Okay.
Our heads of all psychic compulsions. Okay?
What does that mean?
Like, you see even all this.
We have jamming up our neurons. The bigger advantage it will have over us.
I just wanted to be with some.
And the way he answers this question too. Like,
But-
how Jesse Plemons' character
You
answers.
gotta believe me, I figured it out. Seed spread, monogamy. All these fucking pain traps. It's all neuron. Once you kill the urges, like I have, you'll be your own master. No one can fuck with you. You'll be
It's funny he says that, and later on what happens.
You wanna be free?
Yes.
It's really interesting that, like, free of what? Like, you're still, like, I mean, sure, he has his mission and so forth, and the goal he wants to do, but it depends on what you mean by free. You know, I feel like it's still very, and I guess, yeah, if you're free from certain sexual urges, then sure, but it's like, I don't think it's just that, you know. I think he's used that almost as a way to avoid those things, perhaps, you know, in his life. And it's a way of just, you know, because that's what makes me wonder, is this whole Andromedon theory he has, where did it come from? Is it just really just from a bunch of research, or is it because, you know, he confined himself in so many ways to get to this conclusion? So it's kind of like he's created all these like kind of avoidances, and then this theory came along, this conspiracy theory, and that's kind of what's running it, if that makes sense, right? Like, without all this other stuff and all things that have happened to him in the past, which we'll get to that later, would he want to do this? Probably not, you know? And he could say, oh, well, that's how he's blinded to what's going on with the aliens and such. But at the same time, and you could say that is a fair point, but even like still, his conclusions aren't exactly one-to-one.
What does free feel like to you?
I guess it
Oof.
feels like when we were little, before things got bad.
That is interesting. Innocence. There's a freedom to that.
All these years, all the shit that's been done to us. We're setting that shit right again.
See, even that, like, blaming something on one thing, that's a really easy way to go about something, you know? Blaming something on your job, or blaming something on some conspiracy organization, or blaming something on your children, or just like, or your wife or spouse or whatever, you know. It's an easy way to go about that, because then you can just like fixate on that one thing, or maybe even just try to fix it. Literally, like, actually fix it. Fixate can mean just focus on it so much that it becomes the only problem. But fixing can also be trying to get rid of it, hence what they're trying to do. But even still, is that really the problem? Yeah. Dramatic music. That one guy in the back.
Generation of diverse engineers, diverse biologists, diverse doctors, because it's not just diverse employees.
I see what she means by the diverse thinking.
It's too many diverses, Chris. I'm going to.
It is diversity training.
It's too many, Chris.
Get a thesaurus out.
Find that you can do remote. Thank you, Corey. The 5:30 thing.
Oh, here we go. This is interesting.
I need you to let everyone know that they are free to leave at 5:30 from now on, starting today. Okay?
But all the terms and conditions.
No more unpleasant incidents.
Good God, did people harm themselves? End up in an accident or something because they were tired and crashed?
Notice. So if we can do that with no pressure, just remembering, we are running a business.
Interesting shot there too. It's
era.
intimidating.
Thank you, Corey.
It's like, oh, a new change. No, it's not. It's just to kind of give this idea of, oh, we're changing, but you really aren't at a core level. You're just saying words. It's like saying sorry but not meaning it, right? It's like you say sorry and really nothing changes in your behavior or how you act, right?
Feel free to leave early, unless you're busy. Or you have things to do, but feel free if you can.
Oh my god. This alien loves this song. It makes me wonder though, like, as an alien, is she manipulative because she's an alien? Or did she become manipulative because of where humanity's at? And she kind of just fit into the mold and became like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, was she initially like, kind of like this, you know, where the whole 530 thing? Or is it actually because of where she's in the world now is due to the way she's kind of shaped herself to fit into humanity and to succeed as she has? You know, I wonder that. This is probably one of the most Yorgos Lanthimos moments in this movie, like a goofy fight scene or a goofy dance scene. It's probably the most goofy scene in the whole thing. He doesn't film it like this shaky cam, freaky scene. It's just like wide angle, you know, and it kind of looks absurd. Still. This shot I love. This one in here. Interesting. It does give a sense of isolation too. Like she lives alone. Oof. Man, what a score. I told you I'd mention it throughout the video. Dun, dun, dun. Hey! What's in that stuff? Oof. It sounds like those road fucking things when you turn off the road a bit. Those lines. Sounds a little bit like that.
It's like GPS, remember? If its hair is still attached, it can track us remotely.
I don't know how true this is. Like, as I said, some of the theories he has about these Andromedons, I don't even know how much of it is actually true. Another interesting thing about this movie is the aspect ratio. I wonder what was the choice to, you know, do the... It does kind of give that contained feeling. Like, it does suit the setting a lot for this movie, being in that, like, basement.
But the tells are there. Narrow feet. Then cuticles, like overbite.
See, you just don't know how much of this is true either.
If you don't cook steaks a lot, you won't know when it's cooked medium rare, but if you cook steaks all the time, you just know.
You've gotten pretty good at steak now, I think, from my opinion anyway. Thanks to AI.
Leveling the playing field, not torture. Torture is what it's done to us.
That's a good way to rationalize things. But that's kind of why I don't like you to use the word somewhat evil. Is it kind of, granted she technically, you know, she's an alien, but still, it kind of, I feel like the word evil dehumanizes people. So, like them saying, oh, you know, this thing's caused so much harm to us, so we can do whatever we want. It's kind of the same problem with evil. If you call something evil, you can basically do anything to it. Or you call it some like certain label, then, you know, it kind of gives you free reign. But that, I feel like that's a really, you know, you can basically cause any harm to anything then, you know, that particular thing. And I think that's a, you know, that's a really slippery slope, as we'll see later on too, with what we learn later on.
This is my dad's shit. He left it behind for a reason, so that it could be put to good use.
He really, oh man, this director has some really interesting angles of shots.
What's that swine gonna do? Call the fashion police and arrest you?
This isn't about her.
Hey. I'll be doing most of the talking anyway. In fact, maybe don't say much. Like, you don't really have to say much.
This is funny.
Like, don't talk at all, maybe.
Oh.
Like even that there's like a little bit of like I don't know if I'd say manipulation, but it's kind of just like, you know, just poke it, like what she was doing it before about the 5:30 thing, like just kind of getting to really what they want, which is not stop at 5:30. But for him, it's like, no, don't talk at all. At first, he was like, oh no, maybe you can talk a little bit. No, actually, you know what? No, don't talk at all.
I can only proceed if you're fully conscious, so...
What?
Yes. Fuck it, I'm just gonna start. Welcome to the headquarters of the human resistance. Despite our general
When she looks up, the camera switches. That's kind of cool.
subject to the human rights guidelines detailed in the Geneva Conventions, we nevertheless endeavor to adhere to those guidelines out of the humanist principles to which they aspire.
Had to write that one down.
Have you shaved off my hair?
To prevent you from contacting your ship.
My ship?
Your ship.
Right. Here's what's gonna happen. And I want to be clear, I'm not threatening you.
This is a good scene because it kind of sounds very much like a threat.
Police and soon thereafter the FBI will begin a statewide manhunt using all of the methods at their disposal. Think of it like you abducted the governor, but worse. That's the level of bureaucratic urgency you're contending with here. In all humility, I can say that. There is a rapid cross-coordination of law enforcement and digital media, which is all leading quite inevitably to your prison.
Yeah, look at the dude in the back. He's like breathing heavier.
I'm not privy to what their methods might be under extreme duress.
I love the lens choices as well. The shallow depth of field. It looks so catching.
Right now, a negotiated deal that's fair and advantageous to us both.
The cool thing is too, the way she was saying all that dialogue, it did sound a little bit stilted, but that does give that slight alien vibe as well. So that's kind of where the cool thing with the whole Yorgos Lanthimos weird dialogue comes in as well, which is something I really love about his films too, the kind of deadpan, you know, approach he does with his movies.
Royal Andromedan Court. And you've aided your species in the techno-enslavement and the agro-corporate disintegration of planet Earth, okay? And
She's almost looking like, shit, how did he figure this out? Or she's like, he's insane. It's one of the two, that expression.
how's that? Fucking unpacked enough for you?
I hear where you're coming from. I do. And I respectfully disagree.
You. I'm supposed to believe you're a 45-year-old woman?
This is a funny poke towards the actress herself.
I mean, I follow a very strict reverse aging diet and therapy program.
Because a lot of people feel that with Emma Stone. They're like, how the hell does she not age? There's certain actors like that too. So it's a pretty funny joke towards that. Oh shit, here we go. He's already in. So much for, oh, you're free.
My statement?
That you will give to your emperor?
Yep, sure. No worries.
Appreciate your species' withdrawal from planet Earth.
Right. Could we have...
The acting really carries this movie. It's so good. Like this, it does remind me of like a Tarantino film in a way. Like that kind of bottle film. A lot of it is set in this one location. And it does such a great job at being engaging just by the dialogue and the way the actors are bringing it across. It does so much with just so little. It's amazing.
You killed my community. You killed my co-workers. You killed the bees.
Bees. Not the bees.
I appreciate how super professional I'm being right now by not gutting you.
As he has done, as we'll find out later on. Ooh, that music. Now the music's on his point of view. From her perspective, seeing him almost.
And I would love to keep the conversation going, please. Excuse me, please?
They just leave that floodlight on too. This bright ass light in her face. Oh
Please?
Boy, look at that. It's some pretty cool lighting actually. Oh yeah, this is funny. She probably hears this too. Like jumping around.
Is it an alien?
Yes. It knows you're watching.
Something about his performance there too is so good. The way he like did that blink.
Yes.
Wow. His blinking says a lot.
Our self-worth. For our material existence, Don.
You know, I wish I could fix everything that's been done to you.
I love that line.
Stick to the plan.
See? You're listening.
It's like a concerned hand up. Like, alright, I guess. Oof. I forget about this bit, the whole black and white sequence.
The sickness, then they sell me the cure, and it's money. But I'll do it for you. You know, if it helps. If it makes me not like me.
It's kind of like obviously I don't think that exactly happened as far as I can tell. Maybe it did, but it seems like that was his experience or how he feels about that experience. It seems like he was fairly young from that, so it's a rough thing to go through. It helps you to get context of, the way he's so adamant on this idea. And it also puts doubt in you that maybe she isn't an alien. It's just his projection. And this is where she mentions the whole echo chamber. Later on, he's listening to this stuff. And if it's not quite on what he's talking about, it kind of circles it. It confirms it in a certain way, which a lot of us do, which is just certain beliefs we hold, and then social media or whatever, the algorithms get us in that, which is interesting, very interesting. Oh, the score again. My God. Oh, this whole other layer of his life. Whew.
I know I wasn't always the best babysitter back in the day, but I do want you to be okay. You still up there with Don?
Yep.
There's something about how Lanthimos kind of films his scenes, like even this dialogue scene with these like low angle shots. It gives that weird feeling, this slightly disorienting kind of something's off feeling from just an angle, a shot choice, That's why I love his films. It's not like a static wide shot, or like, your usual kind of shot reverse shots where it's kind of just like shots like that. It's like these like angles like this, which is really interesting. And I just love that he uses the film medium to bring across this experience. And the lens choices is really nice too. That shallow depth of field as well. Sharp.
Christ. Did you file that shit with OSHA yet?
I looked into it, but I don't think it's a violation.
Tina, their machinery cut you, and you get punished for missing quotas? That's a violation.
That is a very understandable problem though that she's facing. Like that does happen a lot. Like, you've got your job, you don't want to start shit, but at the same time, something's gone wrong, and it probably would be a good idea to file it, but it is a sticky situation because that is where you get your money from as well. So it is a bit rough.
Routine workday. Oxalith Biomedical CEO Michelle Fuller.
He's like, hell yeah. That's funny. She's in the background on the photo there too. It's funny. It's above his head too. It's kind of like looming over him.
The possibility that Fuller is being held for ransom. Though as of yet, there's no evidence to suggest this might be the case.
That smile is like, yeah, that's right. Oh, he's fucking has that rage moment.
My mothership is coming to Earth, and I would like to bring my new friend with me. Thanks.
She's like, yeah, that's good.
That.
But convincingly.
Why? That's gonna be difficult.
Why?
I'm not an alien.
Repeating myself, I'm not an alien.
What?
That's not even the start of
all
it.
night about our situation here.
Oh, here we go. Here's the thing I was talking about before.
Can't talk your way out of this again. I'm not a kid anymore.
That gulp.
I think you're in a kind of echo chamber.
Echo chamber? Precisely the limp dick rhetoric that you've been instructed to counter the human insurgency with. Fucking shibboleths.
You mean shibboleths?
That's what I said.
Sorry. I guess grammar is a false Andromedan construct as well.
Oh boy. Here we go. He's probably done that to them. Well, a few of the people that he messed up.
I'm sorry.
Hurled that thing across the room like fucking. Oh hell, what was his name? Off of Whiplash.
We need to have an honest talk in good faith.
Talk it out. Let's create a safe space, safe words. Talk about this. We need to talk about that, and what we talk about when we talk about fucking talk forever until we're all fucking dead.
Oh god.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
A sex thing.
We have no interest in you sexually. Compatible with ours. My cousin and I have also been chemically castrated.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. These guys are committed, man. These guys. Committed to the cause. Holy shit, I love that little mouth lip she just did. Just like, fuck. Oh, so good, man. I love it. Such good performances.
I'm a guy that knows what the fuck is happening, and you...
Somewhat, yes.
You need help. You're mentally ill.
Oof, there it is. It's like both. It's like he is, you know, obviously he's going through a lot of shit, you know, in himself, but also he's kind of on the wrong track. So it's kind of like both are true, in a sense. It's probably a good thing he's not alone, because if he was alone, he could have actually killed her by this point. So I think partly it keeps him on track.
Laptop. The journey there will be instant.
And I think this design is actually very much what it's like too, which is like, whoa.
Trying to live in space.
Not leaving Earth for good, we're saving it.
So we have to stay here.
It's almost like he was hoping not to be on Earth. Whatever happened to him, he just doesn't want to be here anymore, which is pretty sad. Yeah, the colours she's got too, she kind of looks like some of like the Zen monks actually. It's quite interesting. I reckon it's somewhat intentional, and also like the shaved head.
And I think we should start over.
Yeah, look at his pointing his gun over her head. Granted, maybe you wouldn't want to have it accidentally in case you pull the trigger.
You were right all along. I am an alien. I mean...
Like, I wonder here if she's actually being genuine, or she's still kind of... Like, I know she's saying, I am an alien, but is she kind of just playing it up, you know, in a way? It's really interesting to say. And that's the thing I love about this movie, is you can't go inside their heads. Well, you kind of do go in this character's head, but you don't really go into the alien's head that much. You do, of course, understand stuff later on, of like what's revealed, but there's still elements that you just don't genuinely know. And I think that's really cool. And I guess there's a lot of movies like that, but this movie particularly makes you think these things.
Good. Let's start over.
Oh my god, what a hard cut. It's a kind of a funny song to use in this.
She already admitted it.
This will be the most mainstream song ever used in a Yorgos Lanthimos film, but in the most fucked up scene. See, you don't know, even to like watching this now, you don't know if the weird distorted sounds are from her alienness or just the fact of what he's doing. It's fucking with the frequencies and shit. And you don't even know if this is, like, as far as I know, I don't know if this is proving anything. Maybe he does explain it in a second, but you just don't know if what his conclusions are true. This is like the issue sometimes, not always, but certain scientific experiments can have this issue, is if you have a hypothesis and then you do an experiment to prove that hypothesis, sometimes the experiment can be somewhat, it's looked through that filter of that conclusion, right? Now, granted, sometimes you don't have a particular conclusion you want to reach, and this is kind of like what this is in a sense, is he has a particular hypothesis of what this will do by doing this to her, but you don't know if those conclusions are true, or if it's just, his ideas.
No, Don, you don't understand.
I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head, but as I said, my conclusions could be wrong.
The output, it's never reached that threshold before.
Before?
Yeah, I guess probably if she was a human, she would be dead. Jesus Christ.
What happened is part of all of us now, and it doesn't go away, and it doesn't get swept under the rug, and it... all of the victims' families this week, to let them know we are going to do better. Maybe...
It's interesting, like the fountains in slow motion in the background. It gives this otherworldly feel.
now, we would like to do what's right and cover the expenses for your mother's treatment.
Those timestamps are really cool too, like the chapters, almost. He does that in a lot of his movies. I remember it in Poor Things as well. It was really cool. He's getting the royal treatment going. What's with Lanthimos and fucking meatballs? He likes it. I remember it in Killing of the Sacred Deer as well. I mean, granted, I don't think it was meatballs, it was spaghetti, but still, close enough.
Activism is really personal exhibitionism and brand maintenance in disguise. I used to be the same way. I ran through the whole digestive tract and...
Digestive tract?
But I was just looking in the wrong places. Until I discovered you.
Well, again, it is very impressive.
She's almost saying it to shut him up.
Can I go to the bathroom?
In just a minute, Tom. We're eating right now.
Poor Don. He just wants to go to the bathroom.
About bees, they do their duty, they build their worlds without complaint or piety or self-obsession.
Which is why they're so easy to exploit, right?
I just admire their resolve, that's all. Even in the face of peril.
Well, we can agree on that.
Huh.
What sort of peril, by the way?
Oh my
Sorry.
god.
You said bees have...
It's always churning.
Why don't you say it?
No, you should just say it.
You go ahead.
This guy's like, man, I'm trying to eat and I really want to go to the bathroom, and this guy just can't let it go.
Colony collapse disorder.
That smile.
What's your plan, Teddy? You want the bees to be dying so that it can be my fault. And you don't have to think about the real reasons why species die.
See, the thing is with this scene too, like, the fact is, yeah, maybe their company was responsible for affecting the bees or something, maybe. But also it could be that, among other things, like that may not have made things better. But, it's probably not one answer. But yeah, sure, maybe that thing contributed to it. But also the conclusions that Teddy's coming up with, how true do we know that is, right? Like, as I said, there's so much, you just don't know what's true, as I said, like in a real sense, because it's so filtered through, because you can't even trust the alien, because obviously even the alien has an agenda. It's not this neutral observer, there's certain biases and so on. And the same thing is with Teddy as well, is there's these two conflicting sides, and both of them have much different views, and they're like colliding, And it's interesting, the other character in the middle, he's just like, what the fuck, and he's probably the most neutral there,
Again. Lies.
Truth.
Lies.
What's the difference?
I know what you are.
I know you too, Teddy.
Oh, here we go.
Sandy Gatz.
Oh boy, this is hitting the nerve now.
That was your mother, right?
Slippery slope.
We believed we paid your family a proper reparation, but now I see it wasn't nearly enough.
Stop!
Not by half, not by a fraction.
Stop!
You're right to distrust me. You are. I lost myself somewhere, okay?
Fuck you. Shut the fuck up.
I became a human being that I told myself I would never become.
Fuck you!
I'm not denying that, but I can help you, Teddy.
Oh boy. Like, because there sounds like there could be some solution here, somewhat. Like, and I think Teddy's scared of that, and he still wants his goal achieved. And she's acting so, in a sense, kind of reasonable. In a sense, it kind of feels like it, you know? She's kind of like, I mean, granted, she's been literally held, you know, captive. So, you know, of course, someone's gonna say probably certain things to survive, and whether or not they really act upon that. Like, if police busted through right now, would she stick to those things that she said? Probably not, right? But right now she's like, you know, but it's interesting how against it he is, you know. It is a very emotion, and he was saying before, like, you'll be your own master. Is he his own master? You know, look at his emotions right now. Look at how caught up he is in it, which is understandable, but that wasn't true. In a sense, like on some sexual level, perhaps, but not really your own master. You're not really free right now, are you?
I can.
I mean, can you?
Oh, look, he's even open to that now.
You needed a mother. She was never there for you.
Fucking die, you fucker!
Oh boy. Such a Yorgos Lanthimos moment. The fucking this rage and fucking crawl across the table. This is a ramp up. Fucking all this happening, and then the police show up. Jesus Christ! Holy shit!
Get off him! You can't beat me because you are a loser and I am a winner. And that's fucking life.
I remember that line in the theater and being like, what the fuck? Like, it really hit me. I was like, whoa, okay, that's quite a switch. Granted, as I said, she's trying to survive and really just adrenaline's pumping in and she's, you know, trying to stop him. But man, that was some line. So it's like that. See, that's the thing, is there's these particular moments in the film where it shifts, you know, and you wonder which one's more true, which one's, you know, which is she an alien, is she not an alien, you know, and there's these particular moments where it spikes like that, and that's definitely one of those moments. He's just wearing a suit casually at home.
Tell you, man, it's pretty weird being back in here. A lot of feelings.
A lot of guilt on your end, or like shame or whatever.
Where is he?
I ain't talking to you.
Look at me, Don. Put the gun down. Look at me.
It's funny how tones change so much now. Before it's just strangling the guy. I'm a winner, you're not. And I'm like, this.
I want to do that for you.
I said, shut up.
It's okay.
The way he's holding the gun too.
Put the gun down. Just talk to me.
I love that little flickering light in the edge of the flame, like that there.
No one in the universe could possibly blame you.
Shut up!
And even the music is kind of matching it, weirdly enough. It's cool.
I know it was a long time ago, what I did to you, man.
It's fine.
No, it wasn't fine.
He's just trying to get him out of the house. Also, no, it's probably not him trying to just get him out of the house. He doesn't want to, you know, go into this at all. He's avoiding it. And a lot of probably why he's, you know, a big part of probably why he's come up with this worldview is to avoid the pain of what's happened to him, you know, in his past.
Someone's up there, right?
Shut up.
Is it the police?
Just sitting. Like a meditation pose, the legs crossed.
Him.
Yes, I do. I love him.
That's rough.
There is so much else out there, Dawn.
That's the trapped worldview. It's not like he's actually trapped there in a sense of like it doesn't seem like he's really in an abusive relationship or like, you know, he's being held captive there, Don, but it feels kind of similar, like he just doesn't have anything else anymore, you know, and he just feels trapped, you know. I imagine, yeah, that's very similar to how, you know, some people feel in those other situations. Yeah, it can be really rough to adjust, and that feeling can feel so overwhelming that you'd prefer to just stay where you are, even if it's not the most ideal situation for you. And there probably could be so many other versions of you outside of this. It's too scary to even face it because of this, like how attached a part of you has become to the way things are. Although he does say
You
this.
are an alien. Will you help me? If all of this is true, and you have a spaceship, will you take me away from here?
I'll take you with me. We'll leave Earth.
Oh boy, here we go. That's not an exhalation for going with her into space. Oh.
Tell Teddy that I'm sorry, that I love him.
When you know in retrospect what he's doing, it's like, oh boy. I mean, I kind of suspected it somewhat when I watched it the first time. Jesus Christ. Yep.
Fuck Christ.
Oh, she's got it in the mouth too. Oh god. Not the booze!
No, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Open my eyes!
Damn. I feel like the thumping sounds could have been a little bit louder, or maybe the music down a bit, because you can barely hear the tunk tunk.
No, no.
What did you say to him?
Nothing.
What fucking filth did you fill his...
It's cool that the camera's like locked onto her as she walks back.
Fairy tale. He did all of this for you, you fucking maniac. Don't kill me, Teddy. I have a cure for your mother.
Oh, here we go.
So in my car, in the trunk, in the back, there is a bottle. It's a yellow jug, and it says monoethylene glycol, antifreeze. But forget the label. It's not antifreeze. It's the cure.
Oh boy. Jesus.
That's for Dawn, you fucking virus.
Oh, Jesus. She's got him good, hey, in a sense of like she got Don, but you know what I mean, like I don't think she was expecting him to do that. But she's also got Teddy as well in this kind of sense of she worked it out pretty well how to get out of the situation, which is probably how she rose so high in success, is from that similar way. Good shit. The person just at the front didn't even acknowledge him at all. Blood all over him in his weird ass suit. Oh.
It's not antifreeze.
Who are you telling, your mum or yourself? This is very much where the plot thickens. I love the way this is edited too, revealing that and what he's doing to his mum. It shows the trial and errorness, like he's just thrown shit at the wall a lot. And it's kind of just lucky he actually did find an actual Andromedon or alien or whatever you want to call it. Oh, Jesus. Jeez. Oh. Oh, good lord. Yeah. Yep. Fucking books it out of there. I can't imagine that, like, good lord. The fact that he killed his mum, basically. Although he's probably thinking, you know, the Andromedon killed her. Doesn't even shut the door.
Many were Andromedons.
2.
2? You miserable fucking idiot. Do you know what you've done?
You killed her.
Quiet. Our 75th emperor first discovered the Earth.
I love this shit.
This planet.
Showing that she's somewhat in control now.
Civilization was born in harmony with nature. Atlantis. We were worshipped as gods. But in the war's wake, all of humanity was extinguished, save for a select few who built an ark and traveled the oceans for a century.
Oh, man. Like, you don't know how much of this is true either. Like, it could be very much. You know, like, this could actually be from their history.
Poisoned themselves with drugs and technology, and even when presented with irrefutable evidence of their own self-destruction, the humans continued, unabated.
Yeah, it is a good way to make sense of what's happened.
We're selfish and cruel the longer I stayed here, amongst your kind. But humans can't help the way they are. To save humanity, but also to save Earth from you and your kind.
No, you came here to kill us.
I imagine if they could, they would. Especially if they're really technologically advanced. And hence what happens at the end. Like, hey, they could have done that anytime.
All humans could be corrected.
But you killed her.
You killed her. Eddie Gads. Yours and mine. And the hour is almost upon us. Yay.
It's funny that the Earth looks kind of flat in that shot.
Could you buzz me in, please?
Are you okay? Are you alright?
Oh, I'm all right. Everything's been sorted out.
That's got that wig going on. That wig did come in handy.
Hi, Tony.
I wonder if that geezer saw him putting his damn shotgun in his body.
Oh, it's 5:35, so if any of you need to go home, just, feel free.
It's probably because they got too much fucking work to do. Because the company doesn't design it to finish at 5:30.
Punch in a code here, and then it initiates a link with the ship.
On a calculator?
Yeah.
Even he's like, really? Are you sure about that?
So it's a 58-digit code, and I have it memorized, but it's been a while since I had to.
Yeah, that's a fucking long-ass code to remember in your head.
Why is it so long?
I have a few, just shh for a second while I think.
Oh, sorry.
Because you don't know if in this situation she's just stalling.
What about Don?
Oh, we'll send for Don. We may even be able to revive him.
Yeah? Are you sure about that? Basically, his head's gone.
You should know that I've prepared for all eventualities.
Okay, prepared how?
Oh,
lovely, jubbly.
So I just go in the closet?
I could go first.
No. I'll go first. I don't want you to escape and just leave me here.
Okay.
I'll see you up there.
And even this, like her reaction here.
2, 1.
Lovely job. Holy shit. Forgot about that. His fucking head hit her in the head. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Oh, props to the effects department. Jesus Christ. And still at this moment, you just think he killed himself. And I do wonder that. I do feel like on some level, I feel like he did something very similar to what Don did. Like Don was like, tell Teddy, I'm sorry, and and so on and so forth, and I'm ready to go now, and so forth. But then, boom, and it's like, to him, it's more of just like getting there. It was the aim of getting there, but there is no afterwards. And I feel like the similar thing with him is like, I think maybe a part of him knows it's not true. And you could even see the doubt in his mind as she's typing this thing on a calculator and so on and so forth. And he thought she was just playing along, maybe in some sense, and saying about this closet that just looks inconspicuous it just looks like anything else. It's not some special looking teleporter or something. He's like, what the hell? This is bullshit. And so, yeah, maybe in doubt, he just blew himself up, similar to how Don kind of went about things. Or maybe he did see something and he freaked the fuck out, or maybe the teleportation set the bomb off somehow. You just don't know. And still in this moment, as an audience member, if you've watched this first time, you still don't know what's happened. Because that little flash, you could think, oh, that was a teleporter working. Or you could have went, oh no, that was the bomb going off. Because there was a slight flash just before the boom. So, you know, it makes you think, oh. Or maybe he just freaked out too. Like when that flash happened, he freaked out and just pushed the button. Just as an instinct, you know. As I said, I love that it's left up to what you think, your interpretation. It doesn't spell out certain things for you. And yeah, that is the cool thing. Even though it is revealed at the end she's an alien, there's a lot of little moments where you're like, I wonder what the intent was behind the character doing this and doing that. And that's one thing I really love about this film, is that it keeps you thinking regardless. It's not like every thread is like tied together at the end. There's little loose bits that you can kind of interpret your own ideas.
I need help with that kind of thing.
So he's dead, then?
Yeah, he passed away.
Okay.
The bomb must...
Yeah, he's dead as fuck.
Friction. It happens a lot with homemade explosives.
It might have been that too.
Look.
Please don't take that off.
Oh yeah, this is hilarious. And this is where it all is like, oh.
Stop!
Huh?
Wait, hold on.
Whoop.
Stop!
Oh my god. Even the way she's running right now, it's like, oh. It's surprising the ambulance didn't chase her, just let her go. Granted, I guess it is her choice, but yeah, I kind of found that surprising. Music. The fucking music. It feels very Lanthimos, like very like boom, like kind of operatic. Like I think I remember Killing of a Sacred Deer is somewhat similar, in a sense, just really hard-hitting, operatic. That's a good word for it, actually.
Oh, I forgot something just really quickly.
Oh
my God,
yeah. Rest in pieces. Wow. And like the visuals in this bit, like wow. It's fucking awesome. Like maybe, yeah, Teddy saw this and just freaked the fuck out. Oh, the sound of that. Oh man. What is that shit? Goopy. Yeah, maybe the suit reacted to all that goopy shit. The clothes they're wearing. The ship's very similar design to what Teddy come up with though. It's just more blobby looking. Like it looks like an entity in and of itself, the whole ship.
Chakras. Klinash litur kalavrini kastur.
And she's actually the emperor. Oh my god.
Tar antrans nashtar. Bri tur sri natar.
Oh.
Zurin natur zurin.
Kinikinson. Dari endar.
Damn. That's rough. What if they actually do walk like that, or it's due to the clothing they're wearing? Wow, there is some like sadness in her eyes there for sure. Just like that. Oof. These shots in a weird way remind me of that movie Samsara. But I just imagine the people dead. Like they're just very static shots. Weirdly. And then there's no like camera movements to any of the shots from what I recall much. It's all just, yeah. The music's pretty funny too. I remember I was humming this song in my head when I was walking out of the theatre. It just stuck in my head. It looks like they just instantly just died. Like, just they were awake 1 second and just that's it.
Long time passing. Where have all the young men?
And in a way, like, honestly, that wouldn't be a bad way to go. Like, you just living your life and then suddenly that's it. You know, there's no like worried that you're gonna die in 5 minutes or an hour or a few months. It's just that's it. You know. Yeah. Like, no one would have even witnessed the car crash. They would just died and then the cars would have just done their thing.
All the soldiers gone.
Cats at the fuck? I wanted my milk. Start to where it all started. For the plot, anyway. For this story. And that's Bugonia, everyone. Wow. I think this did hit me harder this time. Not like the first time. That first time was fucking mind-blowing. But it did hit me harder, I think, than the last time I watched it. Yeah. Yeah, those like arrow ones, symbols almost look like a Ouija board thing. That's kind of funny. Ah, man. It's a good, solid film. I love it. I know some people might think it's a pretty bleak ending, but I don't know. Like, in the sense of like this story, and like if their conclusions are true, with the whole human race being, you know, wanting to one up the Andromedons and then wanting to be in power and so forth and so on. Granted, that's what they wanted too. They didn't want the humans to be above them, in a sense, it seems like. But from the byproduct of that and what humans became and so on and so forth, and what the evolution became over time then with the few that were left over, and then they populated from that kind of gene. It does have a bit of a, you could say, a very deterministic view on human nature, and not much like agency, like to why people do what they do and how they act and conclusions people make, and then, you know, the actions that come from that, and then just primal instincts and so on. Yeah, it is very interesting. And I definitely, more myself personally, I don't really think humans have, from what I've learned from, you know, granted this is just from my point of view, but just from how I've seen myself and just people and just learnt about the mind in, you know, I've watched a lot of YouTube stuff, read quite a lot of books about stuff, psychology and philosophy. Yeah, I do question how much free will humans have, if any. Yeah, so, and I definitely more lean towards we don't really have much free will, which isn't, actually, I think it's a good thing in a sense to, in myself, realize that, because then it doesn't mean you can't live a fulfilling life. You actually very much can, but you kind of find out the principles that makes your life fulfilling, and those aren't what you choose. Those are things you can align your life with, those principles and values and things that you're passionate about, and then you build your life around that, and then your life becomes more fulfilling. And that, I wouldn't call that free will. That's just alignment with, you know, because I don't think my authentic self, people's authentic self, or the way we are, that's not something we choose. Now, granted, there are survival mechanisms, like what happened to Teddy's character and just all this stuff. And, you know, it was very difficult for him to find something that, like a calling for him that would be fulfilling for him and benefit the world in some way, because of what happened to him. And then his mind created conclusions from that. And then that's how he lived his life, right? Trying to kind of justify or kind of make sense of his reality, so to speak. And then acted from that place. And then you saw what happened. He became quite, a destructive, harmful person to quite a lot of people, it seemed like. And it didn't actually say how many people I think he harmed or, you know, killed. he said there was 2 Andromedons, it sounds like, but how many people did he actually do that to? You just don't know. And it's like, wow, that gives you a very different perspective on his character. And it makes sense, in a sense, why she, concluded that humans are a lost cause in a sense, it seems like, because they saw it in a very system of, well, that's just their wiring. I'm not that hard leaned on, like, it's just instinct. I think it can be changed. Human minds can be changed, but I think it's a very slow process. And I think humans have changed. Like, you don't see get women being burnt at the stake these days and being claimed as a witch, or, the slavery is not what it was a long time ago. You could still say, there's wage slavery in a sense, but slavery in the sense of, like, you literally just can barely survive and you have people that literally own you. We don't really have that so much now. So, we have grown as a species. We have evolved psychologically, I would say. It's just a very fucking slow process for most people, because a lot of people, it seems like a large amount of the population don't really seem to go inwards as much. It's more about externally blaming things or just trying to find ways to cope rather than going into their minds and trying to understand themselves. Because that can be a slippery slope and it can be hard to do, and it's very confronting and it's scary to do for most people, including myself. When I've done this stuff, it can be very, you could say, triggering. Anyway, I feel like this has gone down a tangent, but I'm just kind of saying the point of how I've learned things, and it's kind of like how the aliens kind of see humanity in this kind of, they're fucked, almost. Like, you can't, they're so far gone that it would, I don't think it's possible for them to come back, so to speak. And I kind of understand where she's coming from, and in a sense of the way it ended for humans in this film, it's like, wow, that actually, in a sense, wouldn't be a bad way to go. Just, humanity just gone. Granted, I think the reality would be that's not how it would happen. And anything outside of that would be quite tragic. Like, that ending to me is not tragic, if I may say. It's more like, oh, that's it, and the world would still live on. Animals would populate the earth. Human bodies would just slowly decay. There probably would be a lot of problems, because I know I have seen some documentaries showing if humans just suddenly disappeared from the planet. I remember seeing some weird doco like that, and it was showing the problems of, like, power plants, and there's, like, certain, like, power plants would have issues and start shutting down and so on and so forth, like, especially nuclear power plants. There could be quite big issues that could happen for a while if humans just suddenly stopped existing like that. There could be pretty mad repercussions from that. But I imagine the planet would probably carry on in some sense, and animals would just, repopulate and do their thing. And it would just be like, like as if we weren't here at some point, like 1,000 years from now. If that, that happened in 1,000 years, it'd just be like nothing happened, It'd just be like the dinosaurs, so to speak. But yeah, it is an interesting thing, to think about. And the thing is, too, these Andromedons could try making humans again. That's just one time where they just eliminated the whole species. They could just try a new thing and repopulate the planet with different type humans, But anyway, I'm going to do my list and go through more detail of, like, the things I like about this film and why I resonate with it so strongly. And see if it still ranks as my number one of last year. I think it will. It might even be better than what I did last time in regards to the things I like. So anyway, I'm going to go do my list, and then I'll be right back. Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing. Oh my god, I got that song stuck in my head now. I was listening to it while I was writing my list on loop. Okay, alright, let's get into this. This list is fucking significantly more than last time I watched it. So yeah, this has made one of my favorites, honestly, right now. So let's get into this. This is serious business. Alright, so let's start off. First things first. So the first thing I like here is the cinematography. So just general cinematography is really good. This is not uncommon for a Lanthimos film. I think he's probably his least... well, actually, I haven't watched some of his earlier films, like Dogtooth. I think there's another one too I haven't seen of his, one of his earlier films. I think the most earliest film I saw of his was The Lobster. So I've seen all his films from The Lobster onwards. So yeah, I haven't seen some before that. I think there's another one too that I haven't seen of his, aside from Dogtooth, yeah, I haven't seen. So that'll be a video I could potentially do that I haven't seen of his films. So that'll be interesting to do actually for a video. But I reckon at some point I'll do all of his movies because, well, you'll see in this video, in this list of things, why. But yeah, his cinematography overall in a lot of his films is really good. It's feels like very well thought out to capture the setting, the tone, the feel of like just the way the environment is. It gives a sense of atmosphere. It does give that sometimes weird detached sense, especially in a lot of his films. It kind of gives you like Kubrick vibes in a way, especially like Killing of a Sacred Deer. But this one, I feel like it's the most grounded in a sense. Like it does feel a little bit more, you can connect a bit more with the characters, but it's still got that off-putting feeling. Leading me to the next thing. So the first thing is just general cinematography is really good. Visually, it just looks really good, but on a feel sense, it really works as well. But the second thing is camera composition. So partly why I gave it this point is it still does have weird shots here and there where, you know, like the character's like off center weirdly like this, or like they're standing talking like this, and then they're like talking to the person like that. It gives this very kind of off-putting feeling because usually you have them like somewhat framed like this in a lot of dialogue scenes. Obviously not looking at the camera, but you get my point. But yeah, so it gives you that weird, uneasy sense. And that is the point, is that a lot of things aren't quite right. Like especially even Teddy's character, Jesse Plemons' character, like, yeah, something's off about it. Like you can feel something's off about his character. And so there's times where the camera's kind of framed him in this weird way. And then, you know, Don sometimes is a bit more shot neutrally, and that's because, you know, he's a bit more innocent, while, you know, there's something more underneath Jesse Plemons' character, you know, and it's like, that's really cool, you know, like just the way you shoot the scene can really reflect power dynamics and just different, like that shot, as I said, as it was playing, like the one with Emma Stone as she's walking the camera, like when she confronts him at the very end there, and she's like walking towards him and the camera does that weird kind of locking effect, that gives a sense that she's kind of like in power in that scene. Like even though Don has got, sorry, not Don, Teddy's got the gun, it feels like she's more in power in that scene. And like, you know, she's standing above him, you know, framed, and then he's in a chair with the gun. Like, it's like, holy shit. Like, it shows the change in power dynamics because of like, and you could say, oh, it's because she's really got him under his spell now, under her spell, right? You know, you could say that too. And as I said, you don't know how much of what she said is actually the truth. You still don't know if she's just doing that to survive. And you kind of don't know, like, really. Like, I think in the end, it does wrap up certain things going back to on the ship. But still, it does leave a little bit of ambiguity, I feel, as well, to like whether she was completely telling the truth there or just kind of going into his narrative and slightly expanding it a little bit so he would play along with her and not kill her so she could survive and kind of get out of the situation she's in. Or was she really just playing along? Because that being said, she was willing to take him to the ship as well. So it's like, you know, so as I said, that's why I love, granted, I've gone way off. As I said, this is what this film does. It ends up making me go off kilter. But anyway, camera composition is really good at telling the story, giving you that uneasy feeling, and, you know, showing different shifts in, you know, power dynamics of who's in control in this scene, who's manipulating who. And it's so good in that sense. And it leaves you as an audience going, what the fuck? But at the same time, you're so intrigued, or at least I'm so intrigued watching it, you know? Anyway, so that's number 2. Number 3 is visual creativity. A lot of this is due to that last like 5 minutes, or like maybe not even that, like those 3 minutes on the ship. It's so fucking weird, but I love that Yorgos Lanthimos had a moment where he did go a bit off the rails, because he loves doing really quirky shit, especially like Poor Things, was a really amazing example of that. And I love that he still put a bit of that in this film. So I thought it was great, and it did serve the story. It worked really great. It wasn't just, oh, he's doing his weird shit. No, it did tie into the story as well. But it looked really cool as well, like really weird and interesting looking, like the way the ship looked and stuff. And then the weird costumes they're wearing, like basically knitted and with yarn. It's pretty funny. Yeah, so number 3, visual creativity. That's that. Number 4 is atmosphere. So this is from the filmmaking, but it's also from the soundtrack. Oh my God. Like just that, you know, at times using that soundtrack and all the weird ones they use, it just adds this uneasy feeling for, as I said, it's not just Emma Stone's character, the alien, but it's also like Teddy and like what the fuck is going on, and you are kind of on edge with him as well, because you can tell he's kind of slightly manipulating Don as well, so you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And you know, so you're so intrigued, but also you're so unsettled, and I love that. It's so good in that sense. So great atmosphere. I love that. It gives you this uneasy feeling, and it kind of keeps you there that whole film, you know. Next thing, number 5, is the directing. So yeah, I had to give props to like Yorgos Lanthimos. Really great like filmmaking, really great use of like color and location and so much stuff. And he's just really grown as a director. You know, as I said, this is probably his more grounded film in a sense. Like the characters feel not so weirdly detached in a strange way. Like they kind of seem, but also they are quite still off kilter. Like literally, the character you somewhat root for is an alien in a sense, but then you also kind of root for Jesse Plemons' character. But then, you know, as I said, like they are still really weird characters, so there's still this kind of strangeness. But I love his style. He's a very interesting director in how he, you know, creates his films, and I just love that he can work. You know, I love that he's got a place in Hollywood that can make films like this. Like I love that people want to see this stuff, and I hope there's more stuff from him in the future, and I imagine there will be, because he seems like he's got quite a following and people are drawn to these films, which is fucking awesome. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. Number 6, lens choices. So I love the shallow depth of field used throughout the film. I really love that, you know, it gives this, it doesn't always look nice in a sense of like really visually appealing. It does have that slight look, but it's also really kind of gives this like grimy feel, and it's kind of off-putting at times. But yeah, I love that choice. He uses these type of lenses in most of his films to that really shallow depth of field at times, and it looks really nice, I think. Although, as I said, off-putting in a similar way as well sometimes. Along with everything else, it kind of makes it feel that too. So yeah, I like the lens choices as well. But yeah, just also the wide-angle lenses he uses. He didn't, I don't think, do any weird fisheye lenses like he did in The Favourite with this one. But yeah, I did love just the overall lens choices, even though it was a bit more restrained this time, it still gives a unease sense as well, I feel like. Number 7 is the tracking shots. So this is something he does in a lot of his films too, but just like tracking the characters, you know, around as they're doing stuff, and very smooth camera movement. Reminds me of like something from like Stanley Kubrick or something like that. And I love that kind of type of filmmaking, honestly. It's just a bit of a bias of mine. I love it when films use those type of techniques to bring you into the environments, to immerse you with the characters, but it also gives a slightly weird, detached sense sometimes as well. So it does remind you quite a bit of Kubrick at times in a weird way, but just kind of slightly amped up in a more unusual, quirky way, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, that's number 7, tracking shots. Number 8, I'm going to do number 8 and 9 together. This is that combo I sometimes do. So number 8 is the lighting, and number 9 is the color palette. The color palette's not crazy vibrant, but there's definitely an intent behind it to give this kind of a lot of warm colors at times, but there is a slight off feeling to it as well. Just in regards to like sometimes the costuming, the locations. Yeah, there's definitely a certain look that was focused on in regards to the colors, but also the lighting's really well done as well. Sometimes really harsh light and like, you know, striking edge lighting to add to the experience and, you know, the feeling that the film is trying to bring across with the characters and what's going on in the scene. So yeah, great in that sense as well. Really well done. Number 10 is the special effects. So this goes kind of all-encompassing, like some of the crazy fucking gore effects, that head, Jesus Christ, and also like the ship and all that kind of stuff. It looks really good. Like a lot of that stuff looks really great. So really solid job on a lot of fronts with this. So I think the special effects were really solid for what the film needed to do. Number 11 is the acting. Really solid performances all around. So like Emma Stone was great, Jesse Plemons was great, and also, what's the other fella's name? Aidan Delbis? Yeah, Aidan Delbis. He played Don. So those three were excellent. You know, they did a great job. And everyone else, supporting cast and like small people that were in it, yeah, they were all great. Like everyone did a great job. And even that, like the police officer, you know, he did a pretty good job. But yeah, those three main ones, amazing. And the way, just little subtle things they sometimes do in their performances as well, like especially Emma Stone with like little mouth movements and shit she does at times. And yeah, man, good shit. So yeah, really solid performances in this. Number 12 is the music. Oh, the music. Sometimes it's a little bit, they reuse certain scores here and there, but they do change it up enough. And there's some really good ones that stick, you know, and they really add to it. And you kind of imagine that music, and then you can imagine the scene in your head. So yeah, great soundtrack. I really loved and even some of the needle drops, like the Green Day, was that the Green Day song they used with the electrocuting her and shit? I think that was Green Day. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Green Day. And then also the very ending song, fucking excellent. Like that song, if I ever hear it, which I never have since before this movie, but if I ever did, I would just straight away think of this ending scene, which was fucking, you know, striking. And then that music, which is like really, it adds to that kind of what they were talking about as well. So yeah, number 12, music, good shit. Number 13 is the dialogue. The dialogue is really good. It's not like Tarantino, but it's just really engaging. It really keeps you guessing. It really keeps you, like, that's what carries a lot of this movie, is the dialogue. And it does a really great job at keeping you there and locked in and engaged with what's happening. So good shit on the dialogue. Number 14 is the script. So yeah, once again, it's so good in a sense of like, it keeps you guessing. You're kind of like, oh, she is an alien. Oh, she isn't an alien. Oh, she is. Or maybe she's just doing this to survive. And then you kind of learn more about the Teddy's character. And it's just the way it kind of like has these spikes of like, oh shit, you know, and it just, and then things happen as well that spikes it, that are quite shocking and crazy, you know. It's just so good on so many levels, and it keeps you engaged, keeps you intrigued, keeps you gripped into it, you know. So such a solid script, you know. Number 15 is the characters. So I really like just like the depth of the characters, especially like, even if they're quite off their nut, especially like Teddy's character. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, even though on some level, yeah, you know, he was right that she's an alien, there were certain conclusions he wasn't right with. And it's just, and it's not even just that, it's the lengths he would go to get that, and the harm he caused to get that. It's like, wow, you know. So it's just like, man, and it's just, it's not like, there's not really a good guy in this film, but they're still really interesting, the layer and depth that they have. And it's, yeah, it's really interesting and engaging. So I just find that it's cool that they're complex. So I love the characters. They're really, I love it. I think it's great in that sense. Number 16 is the humor. It's kind of that weird, quirky humor sometimes Yorgos Lanthimos does, but it's also just like, it's kind of like sometimes something disturbing happens and it makes you laugh because how fucked up it is, you know? So yeah, I do quite like the humor as well. Good shit in that sense. So that's number 16. Number 17 is emotional impact. I did quite get a little bit struck at the very end, the very ending of the film, and I was like, I have to give it some props for that. Like, there's something about that, you know, about the sense of, yeah, you know, humanity still is in a pretty rough place. We do suffer a lot. There is a lot of stuff that happens from that suffering, and we cause harm to others, and so on and so forth. And it seems like a lot of people are trying to have a hunger for power or control, and it ends up hurting others and trying to make sense of reality and then that ends up sometimes hurting others by going into a certain worldview or an ideology, all this kind of stuff. It's really interesting in order for us to survive as a species, we do seem to cause a lot of harm, to ourselves, to others, and even to the world, It's really interesting just like how that's shown, but it's also like the emotional impact of that. If we just kind of like, well, that's it, then we wouldn't be harming ourselves anymore with our own suffering, but we also wouldn't be harming others. We wouldn't be harming the planet. And it kind of does strike you a little bit like, oh man. And like the way they killed humanity at the end, it's just like, that's it. It's kind of painless. And it's like, oh man, it's quite a bleak thing, but at the same time, it kind of almost brought tears to my eyes, It's like, wow. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Just the way it hits you, I feel like, especially for me. All right, next thing, number 20 is the build-up. I've just been doing editing, and I just realized, I completely missed 2 points for the film. In the moment, I literally just leapfrogged over 2. So the other 2 things that I liked about this film that I forgot to mention in my video was brutal / shocking moments. That's quite telling, in the movie. And there wasn't many, but the ones that did happen were like, god damn, it got you pretty well. So yeah, that was something. So yeah, brutal and shocking moments, that's number 18. And then number 19 is uncomfortable feeling. So it's kind of adding to the tension and just like, wondering what's going on, what's happening, and just, the music, the way it's kind of brought across, and also just Yorgos Lanthimos directing it. It gives that vibe, this uncomfortable feeling. So yeah, I'd give it a point for uncomfortable feeling as well, which is 19. Now to number 20. All right, so the build-up I really love in this film of, as I said, just the way it has those spikes, has those moments of like, they say a certain line of dialogue or a certain thing said or a certain thing happens, and it's just like, it just builds up so well, and the payoff is really good as well. Like, it's like, man, it's such a solid film that just keeps you engaged, such a solid script. Number 21, it's unpredictable. So yeah, you like, there's never a point where I feel like, okay, I got this now. It's like this. And even if I'm slightly right, there's so many other things that I missed and didn't expect, So I just love the unpredictable nature of this film. So good shit in that regard as well. Number 22, it's thought-provoking. It's got so much depth and layers to it, especially like the Teddy's character. Like, it's definitely the most dove into character for sure. And I just love the way they explore that in quite a way that's not judgmental in like he's evil sense a lot of the time. It's very just kind of like, this is probably partly why he's shaped the way he is. And I do like that it's not like demonizing him. Granted, the alien does kind of say, what the fuck have you done kind of thing. And there is this certain sense of, I guess, I don't know if I'd call it demonizing towards humans, but they just kind of have lost hope, But it is very thought-provoking, just like the way the conclusions the film brings, in a sense, kind of like, especially the aliens' conclusions, and then kind of what you get out of that. Like, after the movie, as I said, the first time I watched it, I was just thinking about it and just feeling it, so both of those, emotional impact, and also I was thinking about it afterwards, especially the first time, but even still now, as I'm talking, it's just like, wow, it's so interesting. And as I said, it's also thought-provoking in a sense of, there's certain things that they kind of leave unsaid, and you kind of, and that's kind of cool about it. You can create interpretations from it, but also those interpretations are kind of like how these other people have been shaped. So the way we interpret things is from our own way we perceive reality, which may not always be 100% true. There may be fragments, but there's still also how we perceive it. And then there's going to be certain conclusions that we draw due to how our life has happened, so to speak, right? So it's really interesting in that sense. And as I said, that's why it's really thought-provoking. It doesn't always just leave every stone unturned. There is certain things where you can draw your own conclusions from, which is really cool. So I love that. So really thought-provoking in that sense. Number 23, it's quirky, and I love that. Like, there's still these pretty wild moments. Like, I remember in the trailer seeing that bit where he fucking runs across the table, like crawls across the table and attacks her. Like, what the fuck? And I love that. It's just like, it does still have those pretty wild moments, but it stays grounded enough to still, you're still in it, and you're like, oh my god, and it balances that really well. This movie especially, I think this is one of Yorgos Lanthimos' best films in the sense of like really balancing that really well, and it doesn't overextend anywhere in that sense. It doesn't get too quirky where it's like, what the fuck, but it stays grounded enough, and I love that. So it does a balance really well there, but he still has that signature quirkiness, which, don't lose that whatever you do, sir, if you're watching this. But like, seriously, like, the quirkiness is part of, I think, his filmmaking, which is awesome. It makes his movies stand out, and it's awesome that he's made the amount of films he has. It's really cool. Anyway, number 24, the concept. So just the general concept of, instead of an alien abducting humans have abducted the alien. And even like the tagline of this film is, what does it say? Like, of all the abductions, this one is different. Like, I love that. Like, that's a really funny tagline that they've got on Letterboxd. So that's true. Like, it's really funny that just general concept, but yeah, just the concept as well of just the one location for the most part, the back and forth of what's true and, what's just perception and so on and so forth. And I love that. It's really cool. So I love just the general concept of the film and the grip of it. Number 25 is the themes. So, once again, going into even just general philosophy ideas of, like, as I said, determinism. And this movie does lean quite hard in that sense, it feels like, for the most part. And yeah, that's really interesting. Well, at least, granted, me saying that is maybe a conclusion in my own sense. But yeah, so really interesting themes that, get you thinking. So yeah, I just love, and just the layers of how people are, especially like Teddy's character and how he turned out like that. And then exploring, like, the darker sides of, humanity and so on and so forth, and why that is perhaps. And I love the way the themes explore all this stuff. So really good shit. So number 26 is the intrigue. So you're just so in it. Actually, I'm going to mention the next thing as well. So number 26 is intrigue. Number 27 is gripping. So it's just, you're in it. You're so intrigued about what's going to happen next, what this means, what that means, and you keep kind of coming up with ideas as you're watching it in real time. Then more shit's happening. So good. And that's why it's like such an engaging film, I feel like, in a sense. So really solid. Number 28 is the setting. So like being in that one location, really adds a lot to it. And it's still really engaging in that sense. As I said, like a bottle film, very much like a Tarantino type of film in a sense. But also the setting in regards to basically just being the modern world. I think that was a great choice to kind of reflect the problems that humanity's still facing. And then kind of having this whole other aspect with the alien and stuff. It's really interesting, and how people would understandably create these worldviews due to the world, but also due to how their upbringing was. And of course, people would kind of come up with these, wild conclusions. And yeah, maybe some of it's true, but then what's the cost sometimes of getting to that truth? And also, there was still a lot of things that weren't true that he kind of come up with. And also the isolation he had. Like, there's another way you can look at it too, is even though some of his conclusions were true, the cost was so much. Like, he was basically just living in his home a lot, isolated from the world, it seems like, for the most part. And sure, he got to the conclusions he got to, but let's say he didn't do that and he just lived his life, had fun, had parties, maybe had a different sense of purpose, had a more fulfilling career in a sense, or, there's so many other paths his life could have went down if maybe perhaps different upbringing, different, so on and so forth. And yeah, maybe it would have still ended up the same and he would have just died like that. But would that be so bad? Like, because it seems like the life he had was pretty fucking rough. And, if the same ending, and even still then, you do wonder if it would have ended the same. because the alien did seem to make a pretty hard conclusion from getting captured. And you could say, oh, well, you know, the alien's not looking at the full picture, and that's a fair point, but that's also the way Teddy experienced his life too, is he drew conclusions from his experience. Similar thing that the alien did. So the alien's not perfect. It's not perfectly truthful in this unbiased way, you know. So, but yeah, it does make you think, like, even if it did happen, his life would have probably been more fulfilling than trying to figure everything out, only to, you know, die in quite a brutal way. And the journey itself was quite rough, you know. It could have perhaps been not so bad. But as I said, that's also a lot of, probably a different way he would have been in the world. He would have been raised differently in his world, right? So, yeah, anyway, as I said, all that is so interesting to think about. And that's what I love about this film. It's just, whew. Anyway, so that's part of, like, the setting in a sense as well, as that's what shaped that main character and the world and so forth. And also, like, his conclusions from that and how he acted from that place. And, whew, you know, really interesting. That's why I love it. Number 29 is rewatchability. So this actually, I think, was the 4th time I've watched this. So yeah, this ain't my first rodeo for this film. I'm actually going to quickly restart. All right, where was I up to? So I just quickly reset because I noticed the camera was about to hit 30 minutes. When it does that, it resets. Anyway, so yeah, so rewatchability. So this is the 4th time I've watched this film. So yeah, this, and it probably won't be the last, because as I said, there's so much stuff I really appreciate about this film, and this is the most I've found in this movie. So good shit. So yeah, really great rewatchability as well. And I'm really glad I did. I'm actually, before I get to this point, I'm going to say the very last point. Number 30 is the ending. Even though it's quite bleak, it's also kind of like not a bad way, in a sense, for humanity to go. But also, because especially if it's just like that, you know, no one's alive then. No one's to grieve anyone that died. It's just done, you know. It's kind of funny that I'm doing a snap that's like fucking Thanos. Good God. Anyway, but like, it is really interesting, that ending of just like, wow, you know, how that plays out in a sense. And as I said, it sticks with you. Even if you don't agree with it, there's going to be some interesting conversations you can have with people from this ending. So it leaves an impact. And it did quite hit me emotionally, but also, as I said, in a thought sense as well. So really great, really solid ending. So that's 30 things I liked about Bugonia. So that ranks this movie really high, actually, in my best to worst movies, period. Right, so I will mention that in a second. But yeah, so good shit, you know. Good fucking movie. Amazing. So yeah, this movie, I think the last time I watched it, I had 20 things I liked. So from watching this with yous and kind of sharing my thoughts in real time, it ended up jumping to 30. So that's pretty wild. So I'm really glad I did this for a video. Like, because seriously, like, I probably wouldn't have found this much stuff if I just watched it on my own. By kind of thinking in real time and recording my thoughts, I really got some interesting thoughts and really broke it down more in my mind. So yeah, really fucking solid film. Anyway, I'm going to go to my list now and tell you where this ranks. So I think it's number 5 right now. My 5th favorite movie, period, so far. Right now, it was actually The Shining for a very long time, and I'm kind of sad it's not now, but The Shining used to be my number 1. Right now, it's The Substance. That came out in 2024. It's a fucking wild film, and it just, that once again, there's so many aspects of that. I think I will do a video on that one at some point. I have made a review and a like comparison video to A Different Man, but I think I will do a reaction video on it at some point and really break it down in real time as it's playing. Then The Lighthouse is number 2. I have done a video on that one, so feel free to check that one out. And then number 3 now is The Shining. So, but who knows, I might do a video on that one at some point, and I might find a shit ton more stuff to appreciate again. Because it did used to be 40 things, but last time I watched it, I didn't find as much. So I might have just had an off day or something. So, but anyway, I usually, every time I watch a movie again, I usually do the rating system again. That's usually how I do it. So yeah, 32 things for The Shining. and then the Blade Runner 2049, which is the same amount, 32 things, but I ranked Shining a bit higher. And then Bugonia. So yeah, Begonia's number 5. So we've got, what was it? So we've got The Substance, The Lighthouse, The Shining, Blade Runner 2049, and then Bugonia. So yeah, that's pretty fucking high up. That's my favorite Yorgos Lanthimos movie. Definitely my favorite movie of last year. So good shit. Good fucking shit. So yeah, that's awesome. So that is Bugonia, folks. Whew. Wow, I wasn't expecting to like it that much on this viewing, but wow. So that's fucking awesome. And I'm glad I got, like, I wasn't sure, like, I thought I probably would bring across some of my like kind of philosophy on life and thoughts on things and so on and so forth. And I think I have brought up quite a bit here. So I'd be curious to hear what you guys think of, you know, somewhat of how I perceive things, and if you completely disagree or agree. I'd like to hear some different perspectives, obviously, on the matter. But also the film itself, yeah, it's a fucking great film. And I hope I've given some, you know, extra things to think about, some different things to appreciate about the film, filmmaking-wise and thought-wise, about the themes and so on and so forth. Yeah. Granted, as I said, this is a very film that opens subjectivity, you know, because it shows different characters' points of views and their conclusions and then their actions from that. It's really interesting in that sense, and I think that's very true in how society has grown, in a sense, and how people have, as a species, we've evolved for better or for worse in some ways. But yeah, that's it. What a video. I'm really looking forward actually to editing this one. I'm on the process of editing my next one. I'm not going to say what that is. You'll see when it comes out. But yeah, I'm super keen to see what you guys think of this video and also this film. So really feel free to put your thoughts down in the comments below, and also recommendations. Any movies that you think would kind of tickle that different way of, you know, my interpretation of things, but also just the stuff I appreciate about filmmaking, you know. Please put some thoughts down in the comments below and tell me why you think I'll like these films or why you love these films and so on and so forth. So yeah, anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye. Whew.